struck him out. Stand, baby! Let's play!
It is another gorgeous early evening by the Bay. The Mariners and the Oakland Athletics from inside the Oakland Coliseum getting set for the middle game of this three-game series. A win tonight for the Mariners secures them a series win. Plenty of Mariners fans with matching tattoos making their way inside the ballpark here tonight as we take a look at the starting lineup for the Mariners tonight, Mike.
And last night, a good night for the Mariners, scoring 7 runs and a lot of home runs. 4 home runs for the Mariners last night, including Haniger, 2 for 4. A couple of home runs for him, 16 now on the year. Yonder Alonso hitting 5th in the lineup, hit his 26th home run. And Mike Zunino set a Mariners record for catchers extra base hits with his 24th home run in last night's game. And for Mengden, you see a 2-1 record, 3.3 ERA. In 30 innings, he has 18 strikeouts over the 5 walks so far this year. His fastball right around 92 miles an hour. Earlier in his career, using his slider a little bit more, but has changed to go to his curveball, and again, has been an excellent pitch for him. And a look at the defense. The A's have struggled defensively this year. You have Chris Davis in left field. Look for the Mariners to take advantage of him. Doesn't really throw the ball very well, so they're going to try to run on him as much as possible. Then you're going to have Ryan Healy at first base, and Josh Phegley will get his first start of the series behind the plate. In his last outing, 7 innings, 7 hits, did not give up an earned run. That was against the Tigers. Really pitched well. Didn't walk anybody, so he was around the plate, threw 106 pitches.
And Mengden's been pitching very well entering this one tonight. 3 consecutive quality starts. As he begins tonight with a strike to Ben Gamble. And we knew this already about Mengden, Mike. He has a fairly unorthodox delivery.
To go along with his mustache, Aaron.
That's right. Something that he has had both of those, the delivery and the mustache, since college.
And there's a look at the curveball. Bit of a hesitation, old school wind-up delivery for him, and you see the handlebar mustache.
Mengden, 24 years old, out of Houston, Texas. Product of Texas A&M. 20th career big league start, his 6th this season. He's a very young pitcher in many ways. Count evens up 2-2.
Third game in a row for Ben Gamble in the leadoff spot. Had a double in last night's ball game against Segura day to day.
More than likely we'll see him in Anaheim after that finger injury. This is cracked out to right field. Canna coming in. Diving, tumbling, can't make the catch. Gamble full steam ahead. He coasts into second base. Well, credit for Gamble running hard all the way.
Oh, double last night, another double here tonight to start things off. His 27th double of the season. So he hits just off the end of the bat. Might have been the changeup. A little bit of run to it. A late break for Canna in right. Never really had it. Great effort. Right towards the end of his glove. Not able to hold on to it.
A batter into the ballgame. The Mariners have a runner in scoring position for Mitch Haniger. 2 home runs last night. Now 16 on the season. Now some news coming from Scott Service today in a variety of ways, but one of them concerning where Mitch Haniger is playing tonight defensively. He's in center field. Guillermo Heredia not in the lineup, and it sounds as though we will not be seeing Guillermo for the rest of the season. A shoulder injury which has been plaguing him for some time now. His production has struggled as a result. Canna's busy early on tonight, angling back for this to make the catch. Gamble meanwhile hunts third base. He gets in there standing after tagging. One out and a man 90 feet from home for Cano. Well, the Mariners last night tying a season high with 4 home runs. They were able to snap the A's season best 7-game winning streak last night.
And for Robbie, you can see 94 RBI, so trying to get to 100. Pretty good opportunity for him right here with a runner at third and 1 out. The infield is in for the A's.
I mentioned that Mengden had been pitching well since his September call-up. 3 quality starts, since being called up from AAA. That includes a 2-hit shutout in Philadelphia. In fact, you look at his last 2 starts, the Phillies and the Tigers. Now, granted, 2 teams figuring some things out. Those 2 ball clubs rebuilding. Those 2 starts, 16 combined innings, no walks, no runs, 11 strikeouts.
But the start before those 2 was against Houston.
Quality start there as well.
Yeah, 6 innings and gave up just the 2 earned runs. So he's really been pitching well when you consider Houston and their offense and what they've been able to do this year in the American League. So he's throwing the ball exceptionally well lately. But an opportunity for the Mariners.
Making trying to work around a leadoff double to Ben Gamble. He's now at third.
He's just staying with the changeup away from him.
You look at the numbers on his pitches. Other than that curveball, he's been knocked around.
Yeah, you look at his changeup. Opponent's hitting 308. Slider at 292. I think his fastball is pretty good. 246 on his fastball.
Here comes his 2-2.
And there is the fastball in the inside corner. Perfect pitch. Really not that easy to foul that pitch off when it's located like that at 93 when you've seen nothing but changeups down and away the entire time. So good reaction by Robbie to get it out of there. Too close to take.
Another 2-2 to Robbie. They appeal down to third and they'll say that he goes.
Wow.
Lance Barksdale.
Well, I agree with that. Looked like curveball in the dirt. Again, that's been his best pitch. But it will be a strikeout. And we'll take a look at it. You can decide.
Batting in the 4th position, designated hitter, number 23, Nelson Cruz.
Now you can credit at least Ted Barrett, the crew chief and home plate umpire, for asking for help.
Yeah, I agree with that.
2 outs. Gamble is at third base. Try not to waste that base runner. Here is Nelson Cruz. Leads the club in on base and also in slugging. 37 home runs on the season now.
A career best 115 RBIs for him.
Going after the first pitch.
Trying to get to 40 home runs. Be the 4th year in a row if he's able to do it.
Far and away the club leader. High the opposite way. Canna onto the warning track, feeling for the wall. Canna is able to haul it in and make the catch. Fantastic play by the A's right fielder. A runner stranded at third. Fish Casino big catch, and unfortunately it takes a run off the board for the Mariners.
A pretty good play for Canna. He was busy in the first inning, but gets back to the wall. You can see him have his hand out, times his leap, and takes extra bases and a run away from the Mariners.
Now look at Bob Melvin's lineup tonight.
The A's 11th in the American League in batting average. Matt Chapman will move up and hit second in the lineup this evening. Chris Davis, want to be careful with him. He leads the team with 41 home runs, 105 RBIs. Jake Smolinski, he will round out the 9, 3 for 5 with a home run against Paxton. And for James, 22 starts on the year, 12-game winner, ERA just over 3, 142 strikeouts over 37 walks. And a look at the defense for the Mariners. Danny Valencia will get started in right field. Gordon Beckham at third base. So Kyle Seager getting a night off. Mike Zunino will do the catching.
Mike, we certainly saw some positive strides the second start for Paxton compared to his first start coming back from the DL.
And his first start, wasn't real happy with his mechanics. His velocity was down. Didn't have the best command. Had to throw a lot of pitches. Last outing, his fastball, the velocity was back. He was happier after the outing, and I talked to him before where his mechanics were at. Thought he made some adjustments.
So smoked out to left. Gamble looking up, just over the wall. Home run.
And that was on a curveball.
Only the 8th home run Paxton has given up this season.
Only the 2nd home run he's given up on his curveball. 77 miles an hour. Probably just trying to get a feel for that pitch. Ends up in the middle of the plate.
26, Matt Chapman.
Just clearing the wall and left.
First lead for the A's in this series. Tonight, game 2. Chapman, a rookie third baseman for the A's. I mentioned the news, Mike, about Guillermo Heredia likely done for the season, but some news for the rotation as well for the Mariners. Felix Hernandez, Mike Leake also will not make any further starts in Anaheim. They are done for the season. Felix, of course, going last night. The way that the schedule is, Paxton could go on Sunday. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. In this last outing, James threw 73 pitches, so I look for him to be somewhere around 85, maybe 90 at the most. And then they'll make a decision probably after the game or tomorrow morning on whether he's going to start again. But a good way for Felix to finish up the year. Coming off the disabled list, Felix was really good. Mike Leake had pitched well the entire time he was here since Mariners were able to get him.
First strikeout of the night. Comes on a good fastball that time from Paxton.
On the inside corner, that's what you want to see. When he is right to the right-handed hitters, you'll see 95 to 98 on the inside corner, typically elevated above the belt, and that's exactly what happens right here. And when he's able to do that, right-handers have a tough time with him.
That brings up switch hitter Jed Lowry. Now for Felix, this will mark the first season since he was 19 years old and made only 12 starts that he will finish with under 100 innings. Disabled list slowing down Felix's season this year, but a nice way to end things last night for the King. Well, in the year of the home run this season, that home run by Semien, the 127th in this ballpark this season, the most that the Coliseum has ever seen in a single year. I have a feeling we'll be seeing plenty of records like that for ballparks, for pitching staffs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For teams.
I think it was rookie home runs too, right?
Rookie home runs, but yes, of course. Aaron Judge with 50. Barreled up out to center field. Haniger's out there tonight into the shadows. 2 outs.
For James, his average fastball this year 96 miles an hour. Curveball, slider, cutter, and a changeup to go with it. You'll see his curveball as far as his secondary pitches go. He'll throw that more than the other two.
We talk about those home runs. Those tend to go hand in hand with strikeouts. This will be the 10th consecutive year that we have seen an all-time record strikeout total in Major League Baseball. Strike one to Davis. Entering tonight, we're just knocking on the door of it. We are 302 strikeouts as a game around all of baseball, away from setting a new record this year. So that record could be set tonight, tomorrow at the latest. Shot to left field. Gamble backpedaling a little bit to make the catch for out number 3. Leadoff home run for Marcus Semien. His first career leadoff blast has given the A's a 1-0 lead early. Brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at Safeco.com. Do more. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting an evening with Queen Latifah November 4th. Tickets at EmeraldQueen.com. Gorgeous night once again here in the Bay Area. A's have grabbed an early 1-0 lead on leadoff home run by shortstop Marcus Semien. Yonder Alonso leads it off in the second. Connected on his 26th home run of the season last night. An appeal down to third base. 1-1. With that win last night for the Mariners, they've now won 7 in a row against the A's. And for the season, 11-6 against Oakland.
Think first time facing Mangden and seeing that delivery, it might take you 2 or 3 pitches to have an idea of what that really looks like and the amount of time it takes. So far, he seems fairly consistent with what he's doing as Alonso ends up picking up the walk. So I don't think it'll be a big issue for him, but it might take a few pitches.
Well, this postseason, get ready for excitement and drama and thrilling plays. The 2017 Major League Baseball postseason begins October 3rd. Just go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Now, this was a delivery that he developed in college at Texas A&M, simply because he was not being as effective as he would have liked. Needed to find something to mess up with some hitters' timing. So he's been doing this for a long time.
I was thinking about it on the hitter's side of things, and it's so unusual and kind of old school. We've talked about that a little bit. A hitter that maybe has done something so dramatic or drastic and came up with Stanton with that closed stance. You just don't see anybody with that type of closed stance anymore. At least not that drastic, but it works for him.
Shot high to center field, not deep enough this time for Zunino. Smolinski is there for round number 1. I got another one for you.
Yes,
the caveman, Evan Gattis. There's no stance like that guy.
There is none. Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, he is.
That's why he's one of my favorites.
I know.
I love watching him.
Absolutely one of a kind.
Yeah.
Just turning that bat handle into sawdust.
No gloves.
No gloves.
Both elbows out.
That's the other part of it.
Yeah. Spread out about as far as you can spread out.
He can't even walk through a door with that stance.
Danny Valencia getting the start in right field. Again, already out. So Haniger moves to center. Danny getting the start in right. He and Alonso both familiar with this ballpark.
Look at the numbers for Danny since the Alonso trade. The production has slipped. 25 games, 2 extra base hits, batting .172. We have seen how hot Danny Valencia can get. You might recall the time earlier this season when he tied a franchise record with a hit in 9 consecutive at bats, tying a record set by Raul Ibanez originally. Danny got off to such a slow start, Mike. I know that was something
Month of April, yeah.
You've talked about in your career, how sometimes getting off to a hot start was tough, especially if you're with a new team like Danny is.
But you know what? Watching him, when he was able to start staying more towards the middle of the field, you take a look at Edgar Martinez, Scott Brocious. Things turned around quickly for him, and I thought that he was really having a nice year. You mentioned the time that they were able to bring Alonso over, so he wasn't getting the consistent at bats that he had been. That probably had something to do with it.
Alonso the leadoff walk, 1 out. Go ahead run at the plate. Fegley doing the catching tonight for the A's. Maxwell got the start in last night's game. Full count to Valencia. Second walk this inning. The Mariners have 2 on with 1 out. That brings up Gordon Beckham. Beckham making his first big league start since October the 1st of last year with the Giants. Kyle Seager getting a breather tonight.
Another good situation for the Mariners. They had one in the first inning and they ended up getting away from him. A leadoff double by Gamble. Haniger able to move him over with a deep fly ball to right, but he was left stranded at third.
Beckham spending the year with AAA Tacoma. Really had a storied college career at the University of Georgia. Was the 8th overall pick back in 2008 by the White Sox. Tight to the line, taken there at third base by Chapman. To second for one, on to first in time for the double play to end the inning. Mengden gets out of a jam. We go to the bottom of the second. A's lead at 1-0. Eagles and Doobie Brothers are coming to Safeco Field Saturday at 7 p.m. for a unique rock and roll doubleheader. Tickets are on sale now for the Classic Northwest. Just head to Ticketmaster.com. Paxton back up on the mound. A strikeout back in the first. He's really squared him up a couple of times. Here's Ryan Healy to begin things. Look at the best stretch this season for Paxton. At one point this year, 9 consecutive quality starts. It's the best run by a Mariners starting pitcher this year. And if you zoom out and expand the search even further to all the majors this season, it was one of the best runs by any starting pitcher in the game this season. Healy the opposite way on the ground. Out to Valencia getting the start in right field tonight.
Well, the good news for him tonight is his velocity is fine. He's been 93 to 95, and typically for James, as he gets into the game, you'll see his velocity go up and start throwing harder. I like the fact that he was able to command the strike zone on the inner half of the plate to the right-handed hitters. That's important. He's able to get his fastball to the inside corner. It's a tough night for righties, and he was doing that in the first. Gave up the home run on the curve.
Now facing Canna. Zunino able to find it in time. That keeps Healy at first. And there are only 2 pitchers this year with a longer run of quality starts than what Paxton had. That was by 10. They beat him by 1. 10 straight quality starts. Michael Fulmer was one. Reigning Rookie of the Year for the Tigers, who had his season end abruptly because of an elbow operation. He'll be back by spring training next year. And the other is a guy from the National League the Mariners actually saw, Aaron Nola. Not have guessed Aaron Nola and that curveball to be on that list. I mean, think about it. Paxton
I was thinking about it, and you mentioned the 2, and I wasn't sure who it was, but I figured that with the first half Chris Sale had, he had to be right there.
Kluber maybe,
yeah,
right?
Kluber, yeah, what he's been doing lately.
Kershaw. Kind of helps put into perspective how great Paxton has been this year when he has been healthy.
Well, that's the big key for him. This is his 23rd start, and they have to find out a way to get him 32 starts next year.
take it something like that is easier said than done.
Yes, it is. It's a difficult thing to do. And you can look across baseball, especially with where velocities are today, and it's difficult. But for James, it's when he has his mechanics down right, and that's a big thing for him. He's not a field pitcher, and mechanics are important to him. But when he feels good about that, his velocity is as good as anybody's in the game. His curveball is tremendous, and he can typically pitch deep into games because 110 to 120 doesn't bother him.
Easy play for Zunino.
Now, if you get that for 30 to 32 starts, that's a front end type of starter that they desperately need, and they have to be able to find a way to get him the ball that many times.
Take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next. Speaking of starting pitching, we'll be on the air at noon, 12:40 first pitch time. Erasmo Ramirez has had a nice Mariners season since coming over from Tampa Bay in exchange for Steve Cishek. Will be taking on Kendall Graveman. Renato Nunez, the DH tonight.
And you mentioned that it's easier said than done. It has been for James because he hasn't been able to do it. So he's made changes to his physical appearance. He's worked hard at his fielding. There's a lot of things that he has done to help himself. So the next step is for him to get all of his starts or close to it.
Indecision there. He goes around. It's 1-2. Paxton working around a leadoff single by Healy. He's at first. We saw Nunez come off the bench last night. Just 6 big league at bats this season. Now something else you said, Mike, that's worth expanding on. The fact that in an era of pitch counts, Paxton is one of the few pitchers, starting pitchers in the league, where you can confidently say that 100 pitches is not the end of the road. I mean, if Verlander's the poster child for that, Kluber is in that category, Sale as well. You're talking, of course, top of the order guys. Strike 3 called, rings him up with a heater.
Another good fastball at 95 on the inside corner. The thing about that, and you're absolutely right, is for James, the pitch counts, it seems as the game gets deeper into the game, more innings that he pitches, you'll see his velocity go up, not go down. He's said it time and time again when he's done, I felt great, I was not tired. I don't think that would bother him in the least to be able to throw 115, at times 120. You certainly don't want to do that all the time, but he's capable. On nights that he's really on, he could probably get through 7-8 innings on 110. That's a huge advantage to have. And with the stuff that he has and what we've seen, and you were talking about it earlier, the quality starts and everything he's doing, you're talking about an all-star Cy Young Award type of guy if he can get the amount of innings in that requires. And I think the other part about it too, as far as his pitch count goes and why you would be willing to let him go, is because of where he's at right now. He's not a puppy out there anymore. He's 28 years old, so he is who he's going to be, which is pretty good.
He's ahead of Fegley here, 0-2. And we saw what happened when Paxton missed so much time, the trickle-down effect on the bullpen. When you've got a guy who you know you can unleash for 100+ pitches every 5 days. And in Paxton's case, that's not 100 pitches for 5.
Right.
Motter, tonight's shortstop, back into shallow left field. Makes the catch in bounds. That will end the second. We go to the third. A's have the only run. Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Another warm and pleasant night here inside the Oakland Coliseum. The A's leading at 1-0. Some Mariners fans making their way inside the ballpark tonight. Batters 9-1-2 due up for the Mariners. It begins with Taylor Motter.
Taylor was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game.
Stairs at strike one. High shot out toward Canna in right field. One down.
So the first time through the lineup, Mariners with just the one hit, a leadoff double by Gamble, a couple of walks.
That brings up Ben Gamble. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. On the first pitch, over Semion's leap and into center field. Smolinski takes it there. Campbell having a nice night, 2 for 2.
Now batting, 17, Mitch Haniger.
Mariners bring the go-ahead run to the plate. Mitch Haniger.
Mitch flew out to right his first time up. He missed a couple of home runs for him last night. Now 16 home runs on the year.
You know, this time last year we really knew nothing about Mitch Haniger. I think probably most people in the Northwest had never even heard of Mitch. Was making his major league debut at the end of last season. Made his big league debut with the Diamondbacks, 34 games. You look at his last 2 minor league seasons and there was nothing left for Mitch to prove in the minors.
It's another one of those stories where he spent some time just trying to figure things out. Obviously a lot of talent being a first-round pick, but just could not be consistent. Make a couple of adjustments, a couple of changes. Find a coach that tells you the right things, that makes sense to you and kind of unlocks you, frees you up to go be the type of player that he has always been capable of. And now we're starting to see the results of that.
It's funny, it reminds me of, now this is an extreme example because he's now hit, I believe, 44 home runs. JD Martinez, including a grand slam tonight.
It's a great example.
You think about JD, this was a guy who was a sensational minor league player, gets up to the big leagues, and eventually gets released by the Astros.
A team that was struggling at the time and needed people to hit.
And that was during an era of Astros baseball. If you were hitting 250, you had a spot on that team.
Right. And kind of changed his approach, thinking more right field. And now as far as opposite field power, he has as much opposite field power as anybody in the game.
Him and Judge lead the league in opposite field home runs. Mingden thinking it over. He's got Gamble at first. Gamble the tying run. Only 2 guys pacing Haniger and slugging. 2 guys you might imagine, Cruz and Zunino. Mariners home run derby, final round, Zunino and Nelson Cruz. Wonder who wins that one.
I'm not sure who would win that one, but it'd be fun to watch.
That would be worth the price of admission.
It would be to watch both of them go at it.
Still 2-2 to Haniger. Last time up for Mitch, a fly ball out to right field was able to move Gamble to third base, but the Mariners never could cash in. Again, the 2-2. Hard ground ball, snared with a backhand, flip over to Simeon, and another double play. That's the second in as many innings the Mariners have bounced into to end the frame. Thank you, Brad. Here's the first pitch strike to Smolinski. Number 9 hitting center fielder for Bob Melvin. Like another fastball in on the hands of a right-handed hitter.
He's had a good fastball tonight. His location has been excellent with it. And the velocity starting to be consistently at around 95 miles an hour. Started the game 93, 94, but he's been 95 for the most part over the last inning.
Check swing goes. There is strikeout number 3 for Paxton. Now look around what else is happening tonight around the majors, especially as it pertains to the postseason. How about that? The Indians lose the game. They are stuck on 98 wins. The Twins win it. As the Angels are leading right now against the White Sox. Just a few outs away from that game coming to a close. You can see the updated wild card standings. The Angels, the only team still alive outside of the top 2 with the win today just recently by the Twins. Rangers, Rays, and Royals all knocked out. Brian Dozier, by the way, his 28th home run tonight. Just continues to have enormous home run hitting seasons, especially for a guy at his position at second base.
He has become one of the best high ball, fastball hitters.
Now Semien smokes this out to Gamble. Simeon's hit the ball hard a couple of times. A home run earlier, this time out to the wall.
From what the Mariners have seen of Dozier the last couple of years, the high fastball and sometimes high, like up out of the strike zone,
like visor high.
Yeah, he can still get to it and drive it out of the ballpark. How many home runs did he have last year? 40, right?
Yeah. It's an obscure Mariners Twins reference, but it was a couple of years ago, I believe. Iwakuma was throwing a shutout, maybe even in the 9th inning. I believe it was at Target Field, and Dozier took one deep. I think it was in the 9th to tie the game, and I have memories of it was up by the Twins logo on his forehead, on his helmet when he did that. Two outs for Chapman. Three pitches, all strikes, finished off at 97 miles an hour. Very quick and tidy bottom of the third for Paxton, now with 4 punch outs. We take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Not a whole lot left. Day baseball tomorrow. We are on the air at noon. First pitch time against the Athletics at 12:40. A day off on Thursday in Anaheim. And then the final series of the season. 3 games against the Angels of Anaheim. We know for sure that we will be seeing Marco Gonzalez and Andrew Moore. We do not know who will start on Sunday.
I don't know if you and I have really had a chance to talk about it. But the final game at noon, all the games starting at the same time.
Second year now?
Second year. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I like that.
There's Robbie to begin the inning. Looks at a curve. I think it's fantastic.
And you may not think because just about everything is settled, but the one thing that hasn't been is best records, and all those are going to matter. So I like that they all play at the same time, so nobody can really get an advantage one way or the other.
Well, especially if you had a situation where there was a team. This is cracked out to center field with some afterburners on it. Smolinski with the sensational catch. Wow, he takes a hit away from Robbie. You got to tip your cap to that one.
Yeah. Look, tonight so far what we've seen is the Mariners are hitting the ball hard and the A's are making a lot of plays. And keep in mind they are last in the American League in fielding percentage. And another fine play. They've turned a couple of double plays along with this effort. Canna has already caught a ball up against the fence, robbing Cruz of extra bases and an RBI, and just no regard for his body at all.
There's one out for Nelson Cruz. What it does is avoid situations like, say, for example, that there was a team on the West Coast and a team on the East Coast, and both were in the hunt for the wild card, and all of a sudden the team out east ends up losing a game. And it means that the team on the West Coast automatically is in that wild card game. Well, Now they can save their starter, right? They can save
set things up. Yes.
Like there's already talk for the Yankees. Will they have Luis Severino start in the wild card game? Because if they do, then well, now they lose starts for Severino the rest of the postseason. So do you go all in for that game where really it is all in for one game?
Would you?
I think you have to.
I would.
I mean, we hear how many times do we hear it?
It's not a hesitation. I think you have to.
How many times do we hear every manager and every coach, for that matter, regardless of the sport, say we're focusing on today?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. We hear it in April. We hear it in May. You have to hear it in the wild card game.
It would be odd in postseason. Like, oh, we're considering the next series.
Right. When it all comes down to this one game.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? We're looking ahead. It's the one time you can't.
Well, having lived through it and knowing also what the effects of that can be, it's a difficult decision, but I think you have to go in.
This is Rope barreled up into left field.
And start your best.
And if nothing else, the Royals have shown us you win that one game.
Yeah.
You can go an awfully long way.
Another look at Nelson Cruz, line drive. Again, he was robbed his first time up. Hit a ball out to right field. Canna catching it up against the fence, jumping up against the fence to make a fine catch.
Tying run at first. To go ahead at the plate, Yonder Alonso, who walked in the second. Mike mentioned the double plays behind Mingden each of the last 2 innings to end each inning. 5 starts for Mingden so far this year in the big leagues. He had turned 2 double plays behind him all year, and he has gotten double plays in consecutive innings here tonight. Oh, 0-2.
And sometimes things go your way, because if you look at the 2 double plays, Beckham hit the first one to the third baseman. I'm not sure you could hit it any harder than that. And then Haniger, double play ball right back up the middle that was hit hard right at the second baseman. So just some tough luck for the Mariners so far. Hopefully that'll change.
This is muscle barrel deep right field. Canna running out of room, leaping, gone. Mariners on top. Climbing the steps with his 27th home run. Alonso going deep. Back-to-back games here inside the Coliseum.
He gets a pitch. It's belt high. They're set up away. It ends up middle in, running towards the middle of the plate, and this is barreled up onto the steps. Aaron mentioned homering in back-to-back games now, so he's hot.
That brings up Zunino, who homered last night. A walk and a home run tonight for Alonso. Mariners have the lead for the first time tonight. To Lowry, not having to move far. A second baseman handles it easily for round number 2. That's now 5 home runs for the Mariners in the first 13 innings of this series. Two outs for Valencia. And as we saw last night, it wasn't exactly 4 solo home runs either for the Mariners. They did some damage with some men aboard. Valencia had 2-0. Fours a strike across at 92 at the knees. Now for Mingden, he's from Houston, was originally drafted by his childhood team, the Astros, and then was traded over here to the A's. The Astros were not quite as keen on his mechanics as the A's happen to be. Traded in the Scott Kazmir deal. Kazmir, who has not seen the majors this year, has been on the DL, trying to rehab in the minors. Hard hit ground ball to Chapman. Young third baseman, out number 3. Damage dealt once again by the former A, Yonder Alonso, coming back to bite his former team. A 2-run smash well over the fence in right field. Now the Mariners climb on top. They lead it 2-1. Alonso in a 2-run homer. Well, the Mariners thank Seattle Children's for their season-long support to create family-friendly destinations inside the ballpark. Whether the Seattle Children's Playfield or Wishing Well, our youngest fans enjoy a fantastic experience at Safeco Field. One of the true gems in baseball. Here is Jed Lowry leading things off, facing Paxton. Now the first pitch. Gordon Beckham taking over for Seager tonight, getting a breather.
And for James so far, a couple of hits, won the solo home run to start things off, but 4 strikeouts for him. He looks good tonight. Again, we'll see after the game. Scott Service talks about whether James is going to get another start or not.
His next turn of the rotation would be game 162. That would be Sunday in Anaheim.
Mariners with the off day on Thursday.
One out for Chris Davis. Fouling off 95, 0-2. Since Davis joined the American League West last season, no opposing player has homered more against the Mariners. 13 home runs. Next in line, Rougned Odor of the Rangers. And then George Springer and Mike Trout. Back-to-back 40 home run seasons for Davis.
Looks like James starting to throw the slider a little bit more. First 3 innings basically been a fastball, 93 to 95, and his curveball.
And played a modern. Good hop, good throw, 2 outs.
Good fastball at 97 miles an hour.
How about we take a look at our Geico this date in big league history? We go back to the year 1993. Randy becomes the 12th pitcher since 1900 to strike out 300 batters in a season. Punched out 13 A's. Now this is the best part, in 10 innings that day. We'll go on to strike out 305 more times in his Hall of Fame career. Second most strikeouts ever. Trailing only Nolan Ryan. 2 outs for Ryan Healy.
Ten innings. I wonder where his pitch count was.
I'm saying it's north of 130.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good guess.
Do different pitches sound? Can you hear an audible difference? I mean, can you? There's 100 miles an hour. Forget what it looks like. You can hear that whistling in there.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Your heart beats a little faster.
Well, what I'm saying, no, what I'm saying is if you were to stand at home plate and you were silly enough to stand there with your eyes closed,
okay,
you could tell the difference.
I got just as good of a shot eyes closed as eyes open, so
I'm pretty sure yours would be closed no matter what. But that's beside the point, Aaron. And you can tell the difference on somebody throwing that hard. Yeah.
Shot to center field. Here comes Haniger, close it on it, but has to play it on a bounce with a bare hand. 2 outs and a man aboard. Healy 2 for 2 against Paxton. You know, when the Phillies were in town, John Kruk was on TV with Philadelphia this year. We had a chance to sit down with Kruk and talk to him a little bit about that infamous at-bat in the All-Star game against Randy.
Yeah.
He said so many entertaining things about that, but the one thing on a more serious note that he mentioned along the lines of what you were saying, Mike, I just found fascinating. He said when he was watching Randy from the dugout, he said as a hitter at this level, when you stand inside the box against certain pitchers who have that type of overpowering stuff, he said you get this surge of adrenaline that you don't get against other guys. He said for him, watching Randy before he stepped in there for that at bat, it was the first time he ever felt that from the dugout.
That's amazing.
Didn't even have to climb in.
Long career, faced a lot of different pitchers in his career.
Kruk, I believe, finished with an even 300 batting average.
And James is similar, obviously, in velocity and size, but Randy at 6'10", throwing 100.
When it's going who knows where? At least
even,
early.
Yeah, and even later on when he started to have great command of his fastball, and eventually he had great command of his fastball, he had a mean streak in him that everybody was aware of. It's uncomfortable. So I can understand what he's saying. I've said it many times, Aaron, when you get in there for the Mariners with Edwin Diaz on the mound, we've seen him really, really good, and we've seen him struggle with his command. When he's struggling with his command, that's as difficult an at-bat for anybody, because at that type of velocity, you have to put a certain amount of trust that that pitcher has an idea of where he's throwing it, because the only way you're going to hit him is to stay in there, right? Keep that front shoulder closed and stay in there, when all your senses tell you to do just the opposite. So that makes it difficult. And at this level, I've said it, when you're going through the minor leagues, for example, and they go through the draft and they draft these guys with the big time arms, and most of them really don't know where they're throwing it. Randy and I came up through the minor leagues. I saw him in instructional league when he was first getting started. He still threw 100, but his mechanics were all over the place as he was trying to figure that out before he ended up with a Hall of Fame career. And sometimes it's more difficult, I think, to hit an A ball, even double A, because you're seeing the same types of velocity without them being around the plate. And that can be tough.
And the lights were bad.
And the lights were bad.
Maybe not quite as bad now.
Now they're a lot better, I think. Most of the minor league ballparks are nice stadiums for the guys to play in, which is terrific.
Mariners with 2 new minor league affiliates this year. Jaime Modesto winning it all, sweeping the postseason, going 6-0. And a new AA affiliate for the Mariners just wrapping up play. The minor league season's coming to a close. That's in Little Rock, Arkansas, in the Texas League. A pesky at bat here from Canna, fouls off 97. Here comes pitch number 8 from Paxton. And that finishes him off. Canna defeated. And it ends the inning. Paxton 5 strikeouts over 4 frames. Of the game, the go-ahead blast for the Mariners' 2nd straight game. Mike Alonso.
Good timing for it. Hits it out to right field. The concrete steps out there. Where yonder his 27th home run on the year, a 2-run homer.
Gordon Beckham leads off the 5th.
And into a double play his first time up. Hit the ball hard right at the third baseman.
Now Beckham, we mentioned his college career earlier at Georgia. He played in the elite summer league, the Cape League, when he was in college, and was on just a star-studded team as an amateur. And what's better than a summer in Cape Cod, especially if you're a ball player, young kid in college. Played on the same team as Buster Posey, who was the Golden Spikes Award winner at Florida State. I think Jason Castro was on that team as well, former first-round draft pick out of Stanford. We saw him for years with the Astros. In fact, that summer on the Cape, Beckham's team.
Castro now with the Twins, right? Yeah.
Yes. Beckham's team defeated Kyle Seager's team on the Cape that year. Seager played for Chatham on their way to the championship round. Seager, of course, a fine career at UNC.
What a great experience for any amateur player to have that type of experience and the competition that is there.
It's the best wood bat league in the nation, funded in part by Major League Baseball.
You did some work there, right?
Did a summer on the Cape with the Bourne Braves.
And now you're a big leaguer like the rest of the guys.
It's not as illustrious for the broadcasters. I can speak to that. We don't have enough time, but it was a great experience. I'll tell you who really wins in the Cape are the scouts.
Why is that?
Well,
I've never been there.
First of all, Chapman handles this routinely at third base. First of all, it's a scout's paradise from the standpoint of the talent, as you referenced. So you are looking at, outside of the players in college who are on Team USA,
you're looking at the best.
You're looking at the best.
Yeah.
You're on Cape Cod in the prime months of the summer, so it's a sensational. It's the best place to be almost in the country. And travel is the best part. You are at the most an hour between ballparks with traffic, and you can go camp out in Cape Cod for a week and a half or so, see some of the best talent the nation has to offer. Pretty good summer for everybody.
How are the ballparks?
You know, that's the funny thing. The ballparks are the most bare bones, stripped down nothing. Absolutely nothing. Literally chain link backstops.
So high school field.
Absolutely.
Really?
It's a completely non-for-profit league.
That's amazing.
No one gets paid, broadcasters included. Even
I wonder
what
the guys would think, because I mean, you're talking about Kyle coming from North Carolina. Imagine a pretty nice place there, and then all of a sudden he's.
You're right. That's a great point. Yeah, the college facilities, especially if you're coming from some big SEC school, something like that, are way better facilities in college. But there is a charm that is, the charm factor is through the roof.
Are they supported?
So in terms
of people coming out to watch.
If you go to
outside
Orleans,
of the scouts.
If you go to Orleans, the Orleans, well, they were the Cardinals at the time. They've changed their name to the Firebirds now. Major League Baseball was having a little bit of a tiff with Cape League teams using big league names. If you drive past their ballpark during a summer's day at noon, all the lawn chairs are lined up on the hill for quote unquote season ticket holders who don't actually need tickets to go. Easy hop for Simeon, out number 2. A couple of ground ball outs to begin the 5th. '18 Mariners season tickets are on sale now. Whether you're looking to spend quality time with family or friends, or more face time with your employees and clients, Mariners season tickets provide unmatched value and versatility. For more information, just visit mariners.com/18. Ben Gamble 2 for 2, a double and a single.
Ground ball out. You can see it right there. 5 fly ball. Just the one strikeout for him. He has done it with a located fastball and a curveball for the most part. It's one of his better fastballs at 94. We're talking about at the start of the game how well he has been pitching, and we're seeing that tonight.
Mingden with 3 consecutive quality starts entering this one since his call up. Much closer to home for us now, the Alaska Summer League. I believe Randy pitched in Alaska.
He did.
USC guy. That's another pretty highly thought of collegiate wood bat league in the summertime.
Yeah. When I was going through college, it was definitely that. I thought I was going to end up there, but I ended up signing instead.
If Gamble can reach, Haniger is on deck. Fouls it off to stay alive.
This will be the 8th pitch coming up.
Side sat down in order here in the 5th. First time tonight that Mingden has gone 1, 2, 3. One lead as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Well, the Orca card is all you need to ride the Sounder train. Linkland Rail, buses, ferries, and streetcars. Learn more at getorcasmart.com. Bottom 3rd of the order due up for the A's to face James Paxton. It begins with Nunez, the DH. Middle part of the infield. Honor waiting a long time for it. 1 out. And no surprise to see Felix with the bat in his hand.
Wonder whose bat that belongs to.
I think Felix asked for permission.
Well, sometimes the hitter will walk up. Felix had a good day yesterday. Maybe they're having a tough time. They'll walk with, hey, Felix, hang on to this for a little bit. Maybe get some luck in this bat.
Rub some mojo off on this.
Help him out.
First pitch strike to the catcher, Josh Fegley.
Not that baseball players think that way at all.
No, does not sound. That sounds very out of the ordinary. And for his strike at 96, 1 and 2.
James so far tonight has topped out at 97 again. Nothing but good signs from him. His command of the inside corner to the right-handers has been excellent. So he has a pretty good feel for his curveball. He did give up the solo home run on the curveball to the first batter of the game, but outside of that, it's been a good pitch for him. There's one right there.
I thought that was a strike. full. Smolinski on deck, the number 9 hitting center fielder. Here comes Paxton's payoff. I've seen a lot of these so far tonight. Alonso all alone in foul territory for round number 2. Now, talking about collegiate wood bat leagues, we would be remiss if we did not mention the West Coast League. Much closer than Alaska. The Mariners have seen 6 alums this year of the West Coast League, including James Paxton, Mitch Haniger, another, Mark Zipchinski, Marco Gonzalez, Tyler Smith. Remember Tyler Smith?
I do.
Beeve. West Coast League kid. Curveball, they appeal. Ball 1. West Coast League with teams in Walla Walla, the Sweets, Wenatchee, Bellingham.
Now, do you know, are they all college kids? I think they are.
All college kids.
Yeah.
Yakima Valley, the Pippins. List goes on and on. Corvallis, speaking of the Beeves. Real nice collegiate wood bat league, amateur league. Slapped out to right field. Valencia trapping this on the grass. And died just in time for Smolinski. It's a 2-out single.
Well, Danny does a pretty good job. He goes into a slide, looks like a backhanded play. There it is, to keep it from going to the wall and hold him to a single. We talked about it last night. They played some football here, and right where he starts to slide, you can see the grass is a little bit different color. That's where the stands are at for the football, and it is concrete hard out there and super fast.
Simeon has homered in back-to-back games. Leadoff home run for the A's tonight, the first leadoff home run of his career. Motter shuffling off to his right, goes to short away. That'll wrap up 5 innings here from the Coliseum, where the Mariners lead it 2-1. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. For all Toyota offers, go to buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. Mariners lead it 2-1 thanks to a 2-run blast by Yonder Alonso. There's Mitch Haniger to begin the 6th. Mingden at 76 pitches, tonight's starter for the A's. Mingden's 1-2. Now number 1. Third strikeout tonight for Daniel Mingden.
I want to bring up Cano. He hit the ball hard his last time up. Line drive out to center field. Smolinski, the center fielder, made a great catch. Timed his jump perfectly and crashed into the wall. Take extra bases away from Robbie.
You know, Mike, one of the real perks of this job is when the situation is right, being able to duck into the opposing clubhouse and talk to other players about Mariners players. Gotta kind of pick your spots, right? But earlier this year,
think so.
Yeah. But earlier this year, when we were in D.C., Mariners were playing the Nationals. Out to left field, Davis will settle underneath this for round number 2. We were given the opportunity to watch one of the best hitters in the National League. That's Daniel Murphy, their second baseman. Got me thinking about Murphy. His time in New York with the Mets overlapped briefly with Robbie's time, of course, in the Bronx with the Yankees, both playing the same position, both in the same town, essentially. And I asked Murphy, just kind of on a whim, what he thought about watching Robinson Cano, and his eyes lit up. And as we see Mingden tonight trying to mess with hitters' timing with this unique delivery, Murphy was raving about Robbie's timing at the plate, and he brought up a point that it's worth mentioning. We almost never see Robbie with the swing that is not under control.
Right.
That's something that he just raved about, and for a guy who has the ability in Murphy to get 200 hits a season, pretty high praise from one period to the other.
Well, he's not afraid to let the ball travel, and what I mean by that is he'll let it get deeper into the hitting area, and we've seen that over the last month. He's been swinging the bat pretty well, but he'll hit the ball the other way, hit the other way with authority. And that's the reason why he's a career 300 hitter. I think that's one of the requirements you have to have, and he's one of the best at it. He constantly works at staying inside the ball. I watch him take batting practice every day. He has certain drills that he'll do from time to time. I think he's that consistent because he's so consistent about his work. Now, that also being, when you talk about Murphy, for me, it seems that every time I catch him in a game or we've seen him, he hits the ball hard 2 or 3 times a night. As far as that goes, he's one of the, to me, it's an amazing thing to watch. And I know he has to have stretches where he struggles, but I haven't seen him.
Well, he never strikes out.
I mean, I just haven't seen it. His bat speed seems to me is just lightning quick short swing and just squares it up.
Canna in right field, Smolinski in center. He's the one to put it away. And for the second straight inning, Mingden retires his side in order. as we move to the bottom of the 6th. MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch each out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Matt Chapman leads off the A's 6th.
Well, Aaron, we thought that James would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 80, 85 pitches, and working here in the 6th inning, now 74 pitches for him. So Emilio Pagan starting to get loose in the bullpen.
See if Paxton can work quickly through this bottom of the 6th inning. Ahead now 0-2.
There's Emilio. He will be a big part of the bullpen going into spring training and next year.
Opened some eyes this season. And when we talk about Paxton pitching inside so well to right-handers, we see it in full display each time he faces the Astros. Is this simply because of his velocity, his ability to do this?
I think that he's talked about a lot with his mechanics too. I think that helps him along those lines. It's a little bit easier for him, although I would say this. Typically, if he misses in off the plate, which has an effect in itself, just like he did on that last fastball. Come back with the curveball, typically get him the chase. But it's rare that he misses in the middle of the plate when he has his mechanics right.
Beckham right up the top of the bag, throws with a skip. There's out #1.
And I think he's been better in each of his last 2 outings. Today he's been terrific. But it also helps to be able to throw 97 miles an hour. Because then if you do miss, you're going to get away with it more often than most. To me, it just seems that with the arm angle change and where he's at with his mechanics, he's made some adjustments to where he just pitches inside with so much confidence. I don't think he worries about getting hit in there. And that's a big hurdle to get over, because pitchers know at this level, you make too many mistakes and the fastball runs out over the plate, it can cost you some runs. And I don't think he worries about that at all.
Slapped into right field. Jed Lowry aboard for the first time. Go ahead run at the plate, Chris Davis. We've already mentioned his power numbers this year. 41 home runs on the season.
Power to all fields.
Close pitch for ball 1. This is throttled out towards center. Haniger just looking smashed. A's have the lead. His 14th home run against the Mariners since the start of last season. The most of any opposing hitter.
You had talked about it earlier in the ballgame. His opposite field power, Scott Service, goes out to the mound. This is a fastball that is on the inside corner. This is an inside-out swing. There are not many in the game that are able to put this type of swing on it and have the ball carry to right center field 390 feet away. And a nice catch by the fan out there, but that is just tremendous raw power.
That's it for Paxton, as the A's have climbed on top by a run. Takes him deep, a 2-run shot for Davis, his 42nd of the season. The A's now on top 3-2. Emilio Pagan now up on the mound for the Mariners, facing Ryan Healy. Final line for Paxton tonight.
5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs. All of them earned. A couple of home runs. Didn't walk anybody. That's a good sign. 5 strikeouts, 82 pitches. James topped out at 97 miles an hour tonight. Good fastball for him.
Motter charges, takes a low right by his shoes onto first base, 2 outs. Well, we'll go back to the Ford Sports Desk now, bring in Bill Kruger. Bill, we were eager to see what Paxton would have in store for us tonight. His 3rd start coming up to disable us. What did you make of James this evening?
Now batting, right fielder with 20, Arcana.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I don't have a problem with the pitch at all. It was well located, and as you mentioned, sometimes you're just going to get beat, and that's what happened right there. Bill, when you're watching James and now at 82 pitches, do you think he'll make his next start on Sunday, or is that going to be it for him? Obviously, Leake and Felix now are done for the year, and I guess my question to you would be, if you think it's a good idea for him to go back out there, what would be the reason for him doing that? Yeah. Yep.
Bill, as always, we appreciate it. Bill Kruger, we'll hear from him more coming up. The postgame show presented by Alaska Airlines. We go to the 7th. Mariners RBIs matter both on and off the field. For every Mariners RBI during the 2017 season, PACCAR makes a donation to the Page Ahead Children's Literacy Program. The Mariners thank PACCAR for their support in our community. Mariners down by a run as Alonso leads it off.
2-run home run for him. Also has a walk. His 27th home run of the year.
Now for Alonso, 3 times in his career he has had a multi-homer game. Those have all been this season. Chance for his 4th. Instead he shoots this out to center field and 1 hop to Smolinski. Tying runners aboard for the Mariners. 9th start to the 7th.
Guess that makes some sense since he's having career highs with his home runs. 27 home runs this year.
Far and away a best, career best.
Yeah.
90 pitches for Mingden. Activity inside the A's bullpen as we speak. I heard Jeff Bannister, the manager for the Rangers, say something earlier this year as you see Ryan Dolan and Daniel Colomb warming up for the A's. He was talking about Joey Gallo, who, as we know, has as much raw power as anyone in baseball. What he said about Gallo, I thought, pertained pretty well, Mike, to Zunino. As we know, Mike's had his up and down, so has Gallo, particularly in regards to the strikeouts. And Bannister said very simply, do you have any idea how frustrating it is for a young man to have essentially the power of the universe in that bat and go to the plate and simply not be able to make contact, knowing that if he just squares it up, it goes 450 feet, and on some nights that seems like an absolute impossible task. I think the bottom line what Bannister was getting across is it's very difficult for normal people who have not played this game at this level to know the mental toll and tax that goes through a young player's mind.
And it's not even that. It's going through the process of it. And for Mike, an illustrious college career for him. I don't think he's ever failed at this game until he was at this level, and you wonder why, especially when you start talking about putting the ball in play and adjustments that you have to make. And he's made a bunch of them, and I give him all the credit in the world, because it's not always easy to keep your confidence as you're going through it, and I'm sure at times it was difficult for him. He'll draw a walk right here, but when you get to this level, you have to make adjustments and fight your way through it. And fortunately for Mike, because he's a catcher and he's a very good catcher, he's been given a lot of opportunities to make this thing happen for him, and it is now.
Well, this is going to end up to be just a phenomenal year for Mike Zunino. 2 on, nobody out. We've got a pitching change. right, thank you, Bradley. Here is Danny Valencia with the Mariners threatening. Tying run is at second. The go-ahead at first.
Ryan Dahl going to take over. 91 miles an hour on his fastball. Slider changeup. Slider his best pitch. He will throw it at any time. Started Danny off with the slider for a strike. Overall this year, 47 appearances, 4.61 ERA. Tough year for him. 45 strikeouts, over 15 walks. Opponents hitting .219. He's given up 6 home runs.
0-2.
Mariners are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. So a tough night so far.
Chapman, a foul ball. Still 0-2 on Valencia. Zunino at first, Alonso at second. Dole's 0-2. Shot high out towards center. Smolinski chased it after it, and this is gone. Home run, Danny Valencia. A 3-run blast, and the Mariners are right back on top. A couple of former A's doing some serious damage tonight inside the Coliseum.
They have driven in all the runs tonight. Alonso with a 2-run home run, and now for Danny, a 3-run home run. Looks like a breaking ball set up on the outside corner. There's just enough of it out towards left center field. Just cleared the fence out there. Smolinski thought maybe he was going to have a play. Did not happen.
Breaks his bat. Shot to center. This time dumps in front of Smolinski. Beckham, his first hit in a Mariners uniform.
Number 21.
Mike, how about this so far in this series? All the runs on both sides have been driven in on homers, which maybe is not as surprising as I make it sound like it should be.
No, that was the case last night.
That's why I'm in the series, yeah, for both nights.
Yeah, both nights, yeah, you bet.
In the year of the home run, setting an all-time record this year. Maybe this is just a comment. Maybe we should be surprised if that didn't happen.
There you go. Maybe you're right.
Chapman going back. Anchored on the line. Hard, long throw. That is an impressive play. My goodness.
Strong arm.
Wow.
He has to actually give some ground. He moves backward. You can see him, and then flat-footed. Puts a lot on it. And Motter can get down the line. He runs well. He throws him out by a step. Makes it look easy.
We've got a pitching change. Third pitcher coming on to work here in the 7th. Dole is done for the night. The Mariners are leading 5-3. 3 here tonight, the middle game of the series, and this has been a game about home runs on both sides, and it was Yonder Alonso, Mike, to get it started for the Mariners tonight.
A 2-run home run for him. Home runs in back-to-back games, and then Chris Davis, his 42nd home run of the year. Out to right center field. Danny Valencia, of course, also a home run.
Daniel Coulombe, the new pitcher up on the mound. Left-hander to face left-handed bat of Ben Gamble.
Fastball, slider, curve. His average fastball 91 miles an hour. And for Daniel, 70 appearances on the year. He's pitched a lot. 37 strikeouts in the 50 innings that he has worked. Opponents hitting .238. He's given up 4 home runs.
Mariners have Beckham out at second base. Reached on a single, moved over on the ground out by Motter. By the way, if that play from Chapman at third base reminds you all of Nolan Arenado, he and Arenado were on the same high school team together.
Really?
How about that? Another pitch up and in. Tell you what, don't hit it to the left side of the infield if you're playing that team. One at short, one at third. Soft fly ball. Davis trying to cover, can't get there. Beckham tearing around third. The throw hops and cut off. Throw to second. Gamble is safe there. The Mariners tack on their 6th run. Beckham tearing around the base paths.
And the Mariners now 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Now batting, with 17, bench manager.
So, Aaron, this is exactly what you were looking for.
And this
Right
is very,
after the end of the
very
bat.
disappointing. This is very disappointing.
Falls in for a base hit to drive in a run. It was not a home run.
They don't take you.
We talked about Davis and his inability to throw the baseball. He really struggles, and you can see it right here. No hesitation to send Beckham.
Manny Acta knows that well. Simeon waits for the hop. Meanwhile, Gamble into third base. I'll be honest, I was really hoping for a 3-game series of nothing but
home runs,
driving in runs. That was really looking forward to some Baseball Reference history here in Oakland. I'll have to wait. Well, looks like let's see if we will have a change, or this is just a conversation.
So. Yeah, just a conversation. Scott Emerson, pitching coach for the A's.
Cano batting with 2 outs and Gamble at third base. Gamble 3 hits tonight, by the way. You can see Castro warming up in the A's bullpen in the background. Coulombe's been very tough on lefties this year. They're barely batting .200 against him. Only 1 home run.
It's a good hitters count for Robbie. See what he's done with runners in scoring position this year. A .331 average.
Two and one. Second time tonight that Gamble has made it as far as third. Hoping to come home this time around. Count levels at 2-2. Mariners winning last night, scoring 7 runs, 6 runs across so far tonight. Plenty of time for more. Mariners trying to win their 8th straight game against the A's. Simeon, the shortstop, over on the other side of the bag. To end the inning, Gamble stranded at third base once again, but 3 runs crossing thanks to one big time swing from Danny Valencia, the former Oakland A, here inside the Coliseum, crushing home run number 15. Win Washington's lottery, you can stretch your imagination like never before. Play today. Curbside view of the Coliseum. Emilio Pagan back up on the hill. There's Nunez leading things off in the home 7th. Mariners now on top 6-3. And some changes defensively. Jacob Hanneman is in center field now. Hanneman getting the start in last night's game. Hard hit the foul over towards the bullpen. Nice backhand play. Haniger has moved from center field to right field.
Mark Zepchenski, the left-hander, getting loose in the pen. Dan Altavilla, the right-hander. Through the left side for a base hit.
Attention, please. Defensive changes for Seattle prior to the first batter. Number 17, Mitch Hannigan moves from center field to right field.
Our Beacon Fleming call to the pin. Emilio Pagan up on the mound for the Mariners.
Fastball at 94 miles an hour. Slider to go with it. 31 appearances this year, a 3.45 ERA. 52 strikeouts in 47 innings. Good number for him. Only 7 walks. Opponent's hitting just .214 off of Emilio.
Leadoff man aboard for the catcher, Fegley. We'll see if Beckham's got a play on this up to fight the tarp. Diving, he makes the catch. Fantastic play by
and a double
Beckham.
play. Oh, I think they had him. Robbie thought he had him too. What a play. All the way around.
This is very Josh Donaldson-esque when he was here in the Coliseum.
And I think this is going to be a double play. Just a great effort to make the catch, being aware of where the tarp is. Talked about the foul territory, making the catch, almost disappears, trying to get out from behind the tarp and throws it.
I feel like he got a lot of legs into that throw, Mike.
Yeah, I think he was pinned up against the wall. But a great throw, one hop. Kind of a slow slide into second base, and I think with Cano, he's one of the best at putting the tag on the runners, and I think he tags him before he gets there.
Right there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a double play.
Angel Hernandez had a front row view of that, call him safe.
What a play. Well, he'll be on every highlight tonight.
And the flow to cap it all off. I want to think this would take too long. There's some indecision by Nunez. He was really in between first and second for a while there.
And Beckham has been around. He's a veteran guy, and you could see him get over to where the tarp was early, know exactly where he was at, and then time his jump.
Let's take a look at Nunez.
Wasn't sure. No.
Crew chief is Ted Barrett. He's out,
There
double
is.
play.
Wow.
Ruling on the field has been overturned.
Again, for Robbie, he's just one of the best at this. It looked as if he was going to beat the throw, and he's just so quick. Doesn't waste any motion at all, just continues with the fly to the ball and puts the tag on him. He's one of the best at it. Great play.
Suddenly 2 outs for Smolinski. So what is it that makes a great tag?
I think most of the time, especially when the ball is going to hop or typically on a longer throw, it's going to be moving. It's probably going to be sinking a little bit. But on the hop, more than anything, most infielders will try to catch the ball, and when they do that, their glove is going to do one of two things. It's either going to go up in the air or down. For Robbie, he never does that. It's like he knows exactly where that hop is, so that when he catches it, he just continues with the flight of the ball, if you will. In other words, if his glove never would to get in the way, the ball would still go there, which is the quickest way. And it's not something that you can teach. It's just tremendous hands. He has a gift, and he's one of the best I've seen at putting that tag on people. He's terrific at it. But more times than not, an infielder, that glove will be moving in a direction one way or the other, and that split second that for them to redirect their glove typically will cost them.
We've seen in the replay era, we have seen how close a lot of these tag plays are.
And that
That's
redirection, yeah, it is the difference.
The 2-2. Well, on a night where the A's have made one just sensational defensive play after another
in the first 4 innings.
Yes. That's Timber Call-Up and Gordon Beckham with the best play of the night so far. I don't know, Mike, maybe it should just be assumed, but the presence of mind for Beckham to throw to second base when he is face down behind a tarp.
That's a great point. Long at bat for Smolinski. This will be the 8th pitch.
That'll bring on a 9th. Smolinski made a fantastic running catch crashing into the wall in center field earlier tonight. Pitch number 9 his way. Seager getting a breather tonight at third base. That's Beckham to start. He's picked up his first hit in a Mariners uniform. The 10th pitch to Smolinski. That should do it a little more routine this time around for Gordon Beckham. 1, 2, 3. It happens to go in the bottom of the 7th despite that leadoff single. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Good look down Columbus Street as the Mariners lead things here in Oakland. New pitcher up on the mound, Simon Castro for the A's. Cruz the first to face him.
His fastball 94 to 96 miles an hour. Slider changeup to go with it.
Castro many years ago was one of the top prospects for the Padres as a starting pitcher.
Nick Vincent getting loose in the Mariner pen. 23 appearances for him, 4.5 ERA. Opponent's hitting .234. He's given up 6 home runs.
Well, we saw some command issues already in this at bat, and this time Cruz gets plunked with 95 miles an hour.
And we'll take a look at it. Direct contact.
Not sure how much that elbow pad can do for something like that.
Well, it helps a little bit, but you're going to feel it.
And Nelson leads the team in on base percentage. I don't think that's how he wants to get aboard necessarily, but you can see 11th time tying for the club lead. Alonso pops to first pitch. Fagley covering some serious ground with a basket catch.
You're right. We have seen some good defense tonight. He had to run a long way. A lot of foul ground here in Oakland. He is aware of it, so he doesn't give up on the play, stays with it. Then a basket catch with a catcher's glove is not an easy thing to do. Using both hands, but makes the catch.
Now, if this was the first A's game you'd watched all season, you'd say this is the best defensive team in baseball.
That is not the case, though. They've had their struggles this year, but playing well tonight.
Zunino a walk and a run scored his last plate appearance. And to left field in front of Davis. Zunino reaching for the second time tonight. That shuffles Cruz into second. There's Jacob Hanneman.
His first plate appearance. Came in to play defense, is in center field now. Haniger had started in center. He moved to right. Danny Valencia, after his 3-run home run, was taken out of the game. Mariners are 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight. See a couple of home runs for the Mariners by the former A's. Alonso a 2-run homer, and there's the 3-run homer from Valencia.
Don't know if Cruz is going very far. He's at second, Zunino at first. You know, Mike, Zunino now, after that single, batting .248. The home run tally for Mike is at 24. He could easily get to 25 by the end of the season. Probably won't play tomorrow, day game,
right
after a night game. But I'll be very interested.
Probably has
to
2
see,
more starts.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see what the final stat line for Zunino will be at the end of the season. If he is even flirting with 250 like he is right now, and the home runs, even if he doesn't hit another 124, this is going to be a rousing success for Mike this season.
Well, I guess the way I would look at it too is he's going to be in the 240s.
Sure, absolutely.
Regardless, and
I'm sorry for being greedy.
No, be greedy, because he obviously a couple of hits.
Sure, he's right there.
He's right there at 250. But my point was going to be that when you consider where he was at and some of the struggles he was having, and how well he's had to hit to get it to have the opportunity
to dig out of that hole,
and if the very least end up in the 240s, it's been pretty good adjustment for him, and a really nice second half.
Line drive, hard luck out, and doubled up at first. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 6-3 Mariners. Bottom of the 8th inning. We've told you earlier tonight that around the majors we are approaching the all-time strikeout record. The total tonight over 38,000. Baseball needed 302 strikeouts to set the new record. You see they fell short of that, 233 tonight. So we will see that record.
That'll happen tomorrow.
Broken tomorrow. For the 10th consecutive season, we will have a new strikeout record in baseball. Now, Alex Gordon was the record-setting home run hitter for the most home runs in a single season in Major League history, which I would think has a certain pride level associated that the strikeout record holder will not have. That ball that Gordon hit went to the Hall of Fame. As we take a look at Nick Vincent.
67 appearances, a 2.86 ERA. Opponent sitting 247. Fastball at 90, cutter 88, slider.
Strike one to Simeon.
I guess the days of when you used to choke up with 2 strikes, Aaron, those days are long gone.
I think very much long gone. You know,
the thing I love about it is you have all these numbers and you're into it, and then I watch your son take his swings, and he's right in line with this.
He's a product of his environment.
It's an all or nothing.
He's far better at the bat flip than he is at making contact. He can say blower power.
Yeah,
you're well aware of. When I think of choking up on the bat, I just think of Rajay Davis in the World Series against Chapman. Actually, you know, normally when you think about choking up the bat, you don't think about actually hitting one out, which he did. He was choked up to the label. He was gearing up for that pitch. Count to Simeon, who began the A's first inning with a leadoff home run. Has homered in back-to-back games. This is hanging up for a while. Hanneman has taken over in center field. 1 out. Take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next. Our first pitch tomorrow is at 12:40. We are on the air at noon with the pregame show. Roswell Ramirez looking to continue his string of pitching well for the Mariners. Up on the mound tomorrow afternoon. He'll be taking on Kendall Graveman, one of the few left from this opening day rotation for the A's. Both with 18 starts under their belt, so not a full season for Graveman. Ramirez, of course, has spent time with the bullpen with Tampa Bay. Here's Chapman. Chapman has seen time at 3 different levels this year: AA, AAA, now the majors. Since the All-Star break, leading all rookies in extra base hits. Which is saying something when you consider Aaron Judge is in that mix. But of course, Judge with the monster first half. Quickly off to his left, can't get there. First hit tonight for Chapman. He's had a rough September. At least in terms of the batting average in total. One on for Jed Lowry.
This will be an important out to get with Chris Davis on deck.
Davis, his 42nd home run of the season tonight. That gave the A's a temporary lead. And Lowry has been a bit of a Mariners killer in recent years. He's been pretty pesky to the Mariners. Two and 0. And to right field, base hit. 2 on, 1 out.
This is not run. Yeah, this is not what Scott Service wanted to see. Well, looks like they're trying to throw the cutter in on his hands. Didn't quite get it far enough inside as he fights it off with its base hit into right. Pretty good job staying on top of that fastball. Cut fastball is above the belt. Mark Zepchenski was up earlier in the game. Will not take him long to get loose.
Since coming to the A's last season, Chris Davis has now hit 84 home runs. He has matched his career high with 42 blasts with his home run here tonight. Home run swings have made for an 0-2 count.
Yeah, Nick is trying to keep the ball away from him, and both of them ended up middle in.
Zepchenski and Diaz. One and two. Davis a home run against Paxton, the final pitch that James threw tonight. Opposite field home run. The 1-2.
Difficult situation because you think, well, if you walk him, you walk him. But the problem is you have Healy on deck, and he has 25 home runs, so no bargain there. Has to make a quality pitch.
High out towards left center. Gamble in front of the track, makes the catch. Nobody advances. Both back to their positions. Chapman stays at second. Lowry to first. That's a big timeout, number 2.
After all those pitches inside, able to get one on the outside corner, and looked like he hit it probably towards the end of the bat.
Ryan Healy 2 for 3 tonight, a couple of singles. We have seen some pretty titanic blasts this year from Healy, especially back at Safeco Field. Strike 1. Ahead 0-2.
Just a perfect cutter on the outside corner.
Up and in this time, a ball and 2 strikes. Healy with 25 home runs, the tying run at the plate. But Vincent ahead 1-2. To center, Hanneman tracking this easily in front of the warning track to put it away to end the inning. And the A's threat comes to a close. We go to the 9th. We saw that spectacular catch by Beckham. We will compare that to one a couple of years ago from Josh Donaldson. You be the judge next. For the 9th for the Mariners, leading 6-3. We will take a look at that catch again in a few moments. Castro back up on the mound for the A's. 0-1. second hit tonight for Gordon Beckham. This turned out to be a pretty good evening for the Mariners third baseman. All right, let's go back to a couple of catches from former A's third baseman Josh Donaldson. Not too bad. Full speed ahead to the tarp. This time pinned between the wall of the tarp. A little bit like what we saw tonight from Beckham. Now the twist, of course, is what happens after the catch. Throwing on to second base to get the double play. Originally ruled safe at second base. Now the first pitch, Motter skies this to Canna in right field. We see the throw this time around.
Number 16, Ben Gamble.
Oh, the throw adds a whole new element to it, Mike, don't you think?
Get 2 outs. I would say so.
No slide to the Donaldson plays.
All of them great plays.
1 out, 1 on for Gamble. A chance for a 4-hit night. Another pitch shot foul. So close. They never get that opportunity again. Gamble has doubled twice tonight, driven in a run, also singled. Two balls and 2 strikes. Well, speaking of Donaldson, part of the Donaldson deal with the Blue Jays, Kendall Graveman coming over in exchange. One of a number of pieces. We'll see Graveman tomorrow. Day baseball, 12:40 the first pitch. Gamble down swinging out number 2.
Diaz ready to go in the Mariner pen. He will pitch the bottom of the 9th.
Chance now to revisit the American League wild card. Some scores. Twins winning, taking down the Indians. Angels a final over the White Sox. Angels the only team remaining outside of the Yankees and the Twins. Yankees have secured home field advantage for the wild card game. But time fading quickly on the Angels. They could very well be eliminated by the time the Mariners see them on Friday. 2 outs, a man aboard for Haniger. It's really for the Angels been a pretty tough September, just simply in terms of wins and losses after a strong August. And you think about September for Mike Scioscia's club. Upton in left field, Phillips at second base, 2 huge positions in need, and Garrett Richards returning to the rotation. So even at full strength or better strength.
It was easy for Beckham.
Now in at second base.
And the Mariners 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
Down hacking through a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Beckham stranded at second. We make our way to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mariners 3 outs away from a win. is over with. As Diaz will face a pinch hitter, Joey Wendell, a left-handed bat, but first the numbers on Edwin this year.
32 saves on the year, a 3.41 ERA, 84 strikeouts, and 63 and a third. Opponent's hitting just 186 against him. Mid to upper 90s with the fastball. That first fastball, 97 with a slider.
This is not an easy pinch hit at bat. Nothing in 298 this time. Wendell 28 games last year, making his debut this season, however, just a dozen at bats. The 0-2. That did not take long. Nothing but flames from Diaz. Nunez is next in line.
22, Renato Nunez.
One ball and one strike. 98 at the knees. Diaz ahead 1-2. Mariners tonight clubbing a couple of home runs. Both with men aboard, Alonso and Valencia. Couple of strikeouts, both on the Heat to open up the bottom of the ninth. The Mariners are out away from a series win.
He has not thrown a slider yet. All fastballs, the majority of them at 98 miles an hour.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for the athletic batting for family, number 23,
Matt Joyce going to pinch hit.
Veteran left-handed bat. I don't know if they're exactly lining up the bat rack right now. Check swing, holds back. Diaz on the hunt for his first save since the 8th. Gets a strike across that time.
See his velocity drop, just trying to get the ball in the strike zone, ahead by 3 runs. He doesn't want to walk anybody.
In play, low backhand stab, Alonso. 1-2-3, bottom of the ninth. Save for Edwin Diaz and a series win for the Mariners.
I thought James Paxton looked good tonight. It was good to see 97 miles an hour from him. Commanded the strike zone. Yeah, he gave up a couple of home runs, but I thought overall a pretty good outing for him. Stretched his arm out to 82 pitches, another good sign. Beckham with a good night tonight. A couple of hits for him. Had the defensive play of the game. And how about a couple of former A's with home runs in Alonso and Valencia?
Well, the Mariners have bashed the baseball here in Oakland. As they win it tonight 6-3, they have a chance for a sweep tomorrow. Some day baseball here from the Coliseum. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines starts right now. Bradley, it's all yours.